Yeah. I guess I'm too simple-minded in things like that.
You gonna do roll call? You do roll call and stuff, because they have to hear you.
You know what it does? It costs you more money because of inflation. Yeah.
Okay. You can sit. You want to sit over here and then you can use my microphone to do the roll call? That way you can be heard. Thank you.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing? All right.
Hey, Ricky. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the Urban Design Review Board meeting on Friday, August 16th. First item on the agenda, we're going to call the meeting to order, which I did. And next, we're going to do the roll call.
Rodney Givens,
Present.
Ron Dotson,
Present.
Yahya Hassan,
Present.
Carol Clayton.
Here.
Yoni Cortez. Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda, I hope the whole board has had a chance to look at our agenda. And if so, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move that we accept.
All right, we got a motion. Can I get a second? A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it passes. Next is the approval of the minutes from our July 19th meeting. If everyone's had a chance to look at it, can I get a motion from the board to pass it? What's the pleasure of the board?
How about giving this 1 second? Because I didn't get it until today. I mean, when I came in.
Okay, fair enough.
Looks good. Motion to approve.
Got a motion. Can I get a second?
That's
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Moving on to the next item, which is new business. Today, we're going to consider the design review of proposed new construction of a single-family home at 4593 Ernest Drive. Parcel number is shown on the agenda. Can we get staff to give us a summary of the item, please?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to present the application for 4593 Ernest Drive. The applicant is requesting the approval for the design of a new 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, wood frame, single-family home at this location. The home will be built on concrete footings with smooth masonry walls and 2 parking spaces to the rear of the site. The site is currently vacant and is 0.24 acres in size. The review criteria for this board as it relates to this application is first, the design shall be in harmony with the general character of the area. Staff has found that it is in compliance with that criteria. Number 2, the design components are planned in such a fashion that they're physically and aesthetically related and coordinated with other elements and the surrounding area. Staff has found that the design is compliant with things that are existing within the existing area. The third element is the design shall protect scenic views and natural features of the site. The site does protect the scenic views and natural views at this particular site. The next item is the design shall protect the adjacent properties from negative visual impact. Staff has found that this design does do that. The next item is the exterior forms attached to the building shall be in conformity with the secondary building. There are no secondary structures proposed for this site. Next, we'll review some of the facade materials and colors. The building itself will have hardy plank lap siding. The color will be gray, and some vertical board-on-board batten siding along the front of the structure as well. The roof will be asphalt black shingles. The gutters will be white. The windows will also have white sashes. The doors will be black, and there'll be a 6-point wood post semi-permanent stained storm gray porch located at this particular site. On the left side of the site, of the building, I should say structure, the siding will be hardy plank lap siding white. The roof will be black. And the rear of the site, it'll have vertical board-on-board white in the siding itself with black doors, windows with black sashes, and will also have a rear 6-post semi-permanent stained storm gray porch to the rear of the property. In the report on page 7, you will see a copy of the aerial of this map area showing where this building is to be located. On the next page, you see a copy of the zoning map, which is pointing out the zoning for this particular property. And as you can see, the surrounding area consists of the same zoning designation. On page 9, we have a current view of this particular site from the road going onto the property. You can see that there's a mailbox that kind of identifies the lot itself with some area of concrete located on this parcel. The next picture below shows the property from the back side of the property heading towards the street. You can see it's a different time frame because we have a lot of greenery in the picture versus the first picture. On page 10, you'll see the proposed elevations. As I mentioned before, you'll have vertical board and batten siding along the front of the building. You'll also have some lap siding to the front, to the top of the building, where the roof peak is. There will be a 12-foot overhang, which will also consist of the black shingle siding that is the same to be on the construction of the general building itself. The drawing also shows the sides and the rear as indicated or as described previously or just a few minutes ago with regards to the site. Page 11 shows the proposed site plan. On that site, you'll see where the building will be placed once it gets approval to be erected on that particular site. Staff recommendation, the proposed project is compatible with the City of Forest Park requirements and will not have an adverse effect on the surrounding community. Staff recommends approval with conditions for this proposed project. The condition that we're adding into this approval is that the site, based on our initial review, the maximum lot coverage is 30%. The site is actually covered by 40%. So what we are putting in play is we're just notifying the applicant that before they can apply for their building permit, they will have to reduce the size of the lot coverage or obtain a variance prior to getting a building permit. So that is the reason why we put this condition on this particular petition.
Okay.
Staff is available if you have any questions, and I believe that the applicant is in the audience as well.
Is that rule that you mentioned, is that because of stormwater utility? Is that what that is?
With regards to the coverage?
Yeah.
No, it's a standard coverage for lots within this zoning classification.
Oh,
And
really?
it's just to make sure that the site isn't overbuilt and
Okay.
that there's enough area around the building to separate them from their neighbors.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Is there any public hearing required for a variance?
I'm sorry.
Is there any public hearing required for a variance?
Yes, sir. In order to apply for the variance, the applicant would have to put in a petition. It would be heard by the planning commission and then forward to mayor and council for final approval. So yes, there would be a public hearing required for that.
Okay.
Once again, the process does take time, and that is the reason why we try to notify applicants as early as possible if they require this to be done.
One more question. If the applicant, for whatever reason, decides to reduce the size but maintain the aesthetics, would we need to take a look at it again?
No, sir. The aesthetics that you're approving will remain the same. If anything, the structure itself does not look like it may have to be reduced. It's probably going to be a reduction on the concrete, which is the driveway, or if the applicant obtains a variance, then the structure will remain the same.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions? Ron,
No, fine.
Carol?
Question on, I see,
No, no, don't push that button.
Yeah, there you go.
can you hear me?
Well, you gotta.
I can hear you, but I'm not
No,
sure
no,
if they can hear
you
you.
gotta talk so they.
Okay, on the pad, I see that there is a pad and it's not a garage or anything. Compared to the other, houses that are out there. If they decide that they want to do a covered pad or something, is that something that will actually come back? Or is there a requirement to actually put a structure, for a garage pad, a garage, shelter versus just being a pad out there?
I believe, and let me make sure I'm clear on this, are you asking as it relates to building a, covered shelter on the parking pad to the rear of the property?
Yes.
Okay, so if the applicant chooses to do that, it'd be considered an accessory structure. He would have to obtain a building permit, and based on that review, we would figure out whether it's able to be just built as is. The reason being is that they're not expanding the footprint of where they're building, therefore they probably would not need to come back before this board or need any type of variance to be able to erect an accessory structure on that pad.
Also, is there a requirement for a structure for
What I would say is I would have to check the code for the specifics as it relates to whether it can be an open carport or does it have to be enclosed. But I can tell you that the materials of the carport would have to match the materials of the home.
Ron, did you have a question?
No, I was just thinking that we don't have to worry about carports. We're,
Right.
we're on the colors and the
Gotcha.
material used and,
I was just asking.
yeah,
Site.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely will have to come back, but, I see no problem with the material used or the color combination.
Thank you. Carol, you satisfied?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you good?
Yes.
Mr. Cortez?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no further questions either, so what's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we accept.
Motion made by Yaya, any seconds? Second by Mr. Cortez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stick,
Oh,
is
speak now.
It's a public hearing.
Are you the,
this the public? Do we have a public?
yeah, he's the owner. Yeah, it's appropriate.
Okay, just.
Well, we already voted, but
Yeah, but
yeah,
it-
if you'd like to address the board, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can you state your name for us?
good afternoon.
Can you state your name and,
My name is
course.
Winston Lewis.
Thank you, sir.
I live in Forest Park, pretty close to the area. And I was advised of the 40% lot coverage. And I went back to the designer and she reduced the driveway and the area. So it's now down to 30%. So I don't think a variance is going to be required. I don't know if that's something that could be addressed later.
what,
Yeah,
what-
it would not be addressed here. This board is specifically just looking at the design elements of the structure. However, staff wanted to make sure that you were aware of the fact that the plans that we received outside of what you may have resubmitted indicated that it was bigger than it could have been. And so that's the reason why for the comment. If it is under, when it goes to the building process, if it's at the percentage it's supposed to be, it can be processed straight through, sir.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to old business, seeing none. Next item is to adjourn. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'm so moved.
Got a motion by Ron, any seconds?
A second?
Second by Yaya. All in favor say aye. None opposed? We are adjourned.
You got a hammer now.